little more. And if you're over at supertalktv.com, you'll see I'm not alone today. And I have waited since August to have this conversation, particularly to have it where I could have both ladies in studio with me here on Good Things. Joining us is our Miss Mississippi, Miss Holly Brand, and our very own Sarah Thomas. And they came together to unveil back in August, Holly, your Show Me Your Shoe, which was for the Miss America's 100th year, and it picked iconic women. Now, we're going to have to unpack this on how shoes and Sarah and you and all came together. But first, welcome, ladies. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
All right, Miss Holly, you are our reigning Miss Mississippi. Congratulations on all your hard work at Miss America. Welcome back. I know you've got a few more months until you pass on the crown to the new Miss Mississippi. But part of the tradition is a shoe. Explain that to us.
Yeah, so the Miss America organization has the iconic Show Us Your Shoes parade. And so every Miss Mississippi for years now always has a shoe that is related to her state. Every state title holder does. And when Miss America was held in Atlantic City, typically it was held during competition week. But we have a new home. Miss America is now held at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. So back in September, we had an orientation weekend, and that's when the parade was held then. So every state title holder picked a shoe that represented something cool about their state, but the theme this year was iconic women. And with Sarah Thomas being our first NFL female referee and being from Mississippi, my team and I thought, hey, why not do a shoe that showcases her? So I had a football cleat instead of a heel like all the other girls, and it was super fun, and I really enjoyed being able to pay tribute to her through my shoe.
All right, Sarah, you get a lot of cool calls on, things to do, whether it's be a ref for the Super Bowl or some of the other major events, but it's not every day, even men or women, get a call and say, we would like to make a sparkly shoe after you. So what was that like?
Well, I first want to say thank you for not letting up on getting us together, because this is great for me to be with Holly and just what she means for our state and just represents us so well. And you should have been Miss America. You are to us.
Amen.
But getting that call from her it's right there at the level of being, selected and getting the call for the Super Bowl. It just blew my mind away that I'm just a hardworking mom of 3 beautiful kids, born and raised in Pascagoula, Mississippi. Hey, Mom and Dad. And when she called me and said that, I'm telling you, I was so humbled and honored to somehow be with her on that stage at Miss America, because I can tell you that's the only way I was going to get there was by a shoe. So thank you. But it was just so humbling.
Well, it's, the Miss America organization, as well as, what you were doing. It's 2 representations of what strong women can be from our great state. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily think of sports and football and, colliding with the elegance of Miss Mississippi, but yet still it's the strength and beauty and smarts and wits of young women here in our state doing what they enjoy and sort of trying to strive. So I think it's a beautiful fit. Now, talking about the fit. Did it fit well? Like, can you walk? You can't walk in it, right? Is it 1 shoe? Is it 2 shoes? How does it work?
It's 2 shoes. A lot of girls will bring an extra pair of shoes, and they will wear one in the parade and then, hold the other one. I wore both of mine. Surprisingly, I was able to walk in them. I didn't think I was going to be able to, but I made it work. They fit well. I actually didn't get to try them on until, right before the parade. So that was a little stressful, but all was well. They fit well, and I just switched holding my leg and showing everybody my shoe throughout the parade.
They are a piece of art in and of themselves. We've had here on Good Things before, I think when they did a Coca-Cola shoe several years back, and some others. Back when the parade, I think, was actually held in Vicksburg at one point, or there was a parade that had the shoe in Vicksburg, or if I remember correctly. But so who creates the shoe? Who brings it to life?
So I have a prep team. It's comprised of Ashley Thompson, Kim Knight, and Jennifer Pierce, and they help prepare me for Miss America. And Ashley Thompson made this shoe, basically. She ordered a football cleat. It was her idea to do a football cleat instead of a high heel, and she started bedazzling. From there, she, I think, went to Dick's Sporting Goods and got some little footballs and bedazzled those and put Mississippi on it and glued it together. She worked really, really hard to make this moment great for each of us, and so I'm very appreciative of her. Hey, Miss Ashley, if you're watching or listening, but she created them for me, and it was honestly amazing.
So where does the shoe live now?
So we left the shoes in Connecticut. I think there was a museum in Mystic that wanted to showcase all of them leading up to Miss America, and I didn't get them back until after Miss America. So I think at the moment they are with the executive director of the Miss Mississippi Corporation. I should probably contact him and be like, hey, let's see what we can do about that. But yeah, I think they're with him at the moment, but if they are, they should come back to me, or they will come back to me, and they'll live in my house.
You'll get to keep them.
I do get to keep them. Yes,
along with the crown, right?
Yes. Every Miss Mississippi gets to keep the crown and the sash, and every Miss Mississippi gets to keep her shoe and her shoe costume. So I still have my costume at my house. I just don't have my shoes yet.
Putting you on blast here on Good Things. You should split those shoes. Sarah should get a shoe, and you should get a shoe.
I really think that if I could put my foot in them and they were my size, I should try to wear them on the football field.
You know, this is actually something we were kind of planning, was to give you one of the shoes. Surprise.
I would love that. I would love it.
Just once I get them back in my possession. But
no, I think, well, you know, it's not every trophy you can break in half. At least with shoes, you have one. You can have one for each. And it really does go to someone who's iconic. What I love, though, about both of you ladies' stories, I mean, even though they're so different, they're so similar. Holly, I read an interview where you said you finally reached a dream or reached a goal by competing there at Miss America. You know, even though you didn't walk away with the crown, that was something you've been working towards for how long?
I did my first competition when I was 5, and it was just my little high school, or not high school, but my just little school beauty pageant, and they sent home flyers with all of the kids, and I gave it to my mom, and she laughed in my face. She was like, we are not doing pageants, and well, here we are. But I grew up competing in pageants. I watched Miss America every single year. It was like my Super Bowl, getting to sit and watch all of the girls compete, and hoped one day that would be me. And you know, Miss Mississippi has a teen organization, Miss Mississippi's Outstanding Teen. I was involved in that, and I think when I served as Miss Mississippi's Outstanding Teen, I think it just made that dream that I had even stronger, because I kind of got to shadow the Miss Mississippi at the time and kind of see what the job was like, and I fell in love with the organization just from a different perspective, not just as an outsider, of someone a fan who just watched it, but someone who became a part of it. So this has been years and years and years in the making. It's kind of bittersweet that it's about to end, but I'm excited for the next girl that her dream will come true in a few months.
And Sarah, it feels like to some of us, you were an overnight success, right? Like we had no idea who Sarah Thomas was, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're blasted across all the headlines, sports, for being, you know, breaking barriers, being the first woman. But again, like you may not have been 5 when you figured out you wanted to be a referee, or maybe you were, but I'm sure it started long before that. So how long had you been working on that dream to break through the industry?
It's crazy. I stumbled into this. It was not a dream of mine. Being a former athlete, I actually hated the officials when I was playing, and truth be told, they probably hated me. But I was kicked out of a men's basketball league, and I have an older brother and a younger brother, and my older brother, Lee, was attending a football officials meeting, and I just simply asked, can girls do that? And being raised, my parents said, you know, once you start something, you don't quit. And I showed up at the first meeting in 1996, 26 seasons ago, which is bizarre. And when I walked into that first meeting, I had no clue there were not any women officiating football. I never went to a football game going, oh, that's all guys. But you saw female officials, referees, and, you know, my world of basketball. And so I just kind of fell in love with it. But going to the Junior College Association or going to D2, D3, D1, I didn't even think that was feasible, because when I was in my 9th season, I was asked by my crew chief, Larry Tucker, my high school crew chief, if I would apply for JUCO. And so I was going to send in my application a couple of weeks after he said that to me, and he said, don't do it. And I was like, Tucker, you don't want me on your crew anymore? He goes, it's not it. The signing secretary for the Junior College Association at that time said he would never hire me because I was a woman. And so I just said, I'm not going to go and try to prove myself as a woman. This job's tough enough. But after my 10th season, which I told the crew I was giving it up after that year, I worked a state championship, and Dr. Joe Haynes, God rest in peace, he spotted me. He was an NFL scout, and he just said I had what it took, he thought, to go to the next level. I didn't know what the next level was. And then I got plugged in with Gerald Austin at Conference USA, and then you started seeing just the drive even more and being around the guys. It was no longer like the hobby. It was truly my desire and just my passion to become a better official. And then in 2015, the NFL hired me.
So it was never that women couldn't do it. It was just women had never done it before.
Correct.
Or having someone to at least have the opportunity to say, give you the opportunity to sort of show that you could have the same skills as anyone else in that sort of position. I think that's something valuable for us all to hear, is that, just because you don't see someone like you in a position doesn't mean that you can't or they won't let you. It's just maybe nobody has done it before, which would have been the same way both of you felt about your prospective journeys. And we're going to talk more about their journeys coming up next here on Out More. You can head on over to supertalktv.com or find us on Facebook Live. We're over there on SuperTalk's Facebook page. I still have with me Miss Mississippi, Miss Holly Brand. She is here along with Sarah Thomas back in August when she did her Miss America Show Me Your Shoes parade. It honored Sarah Thomas by having a sparkly cleat with a football on top of that. I think that's very cool. But I also think you two ladies, you have represented Mississippi so well in distinctive crafts, and it's two totally different paths, right? But you're both trailblazing, you're working hard, you're leaving a legacy of your own right. Holly, you're only like 26. Sarah and I are a little bit older.
Yeah, I'm 21.
21, okay, see, even younger. 21, I don't know where I got 26 from, but I guess I'm wishing you a little bit older to have, already hit so many benchmarks that you had worked sort of hard for. I want to talk about the hard work part, because oftentimes we see the pretty smiles and the pretty dresses and someone else maybe doing your hair, and we think, how hard is it to get up there and, do what girls do on the stage? And you say to that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest stereotypes surrounding competitions like Miss America is not just, we don't just stand on stage and smile and wave. It's not as easy as just getting up and putting on a pair of heels, having somebody do your makeup and just walk and smile. It's so much more than that. It's a full-time job when you're serving in a position where you're competing at Miss America. Miss Mississippi has been my full-time job since June of 2021. I basically am on tour for the entire year. I travel the state of Mississippi. I do interviews. When Miss America was in the works, I was preparing for that. I do speaking engagements. I meet children. I go on school visits. There's a lot of work that goes into that to getting to that point. I competed in Miss Mississippi twice before I was crowned, and we had a year off in COVID. So I say it was my second competition year, but it was more like my third year prep-wise. I prepped all during quarantine, and that consists of doing mock interviews all the time, keeping up with current events, perfecting my talent. I'm a singer, so I was practicing my talent selection all the time, and very rarely did my prep process consist of me walking around in heels. I think I probably did that. I can count on one hand how many times I did that and probably have fingers left over. But it's a mindset that you have to have when you're preparing for a competition like that. I would practice interview questions in the car. And so there's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of behind-the-scenes things, working on your social impact initiative. Mine is volunteerism, so I worked on making a lot of partnerships and doing service projects when I was leading up to Miss Mississippi. And that's what every girl does. It's a lot of work that nobody really sees, a lot of things that go on behind the scenes aside from the competition that people watch on the final night. So there's a lot of things that go into it, and it's not just preparing when you're a local title holder. For me, it was preparing my whole life.
Well, don't discredit the walking in heels part, because that is talent in and of itself.
It's not easy.
Right? Me and Sarah both, we have our sneakers on today here on Good Things, and you are in your pretty heels. Yes. So you definitely have a skill when it comes to that, but there is so much more. And same with you, Sarah. I think for many, it's like, we don't think about all the hard work that it took to learn everything and to practice. And here I am saying what I think you do. I don't even know how you prepare for your game. So what does the hard work look like as a referee?
Yeah, it's a lot, exactly what Holly was just referring to. Mindset, lifestyle. There's not an off season in the world of officiating. There's just not. I know early on, whenever football would go by the wayside, I was like in a state of depression, because it is just a lifestyle for me. It's from training at the gym, and I work out at Cut and Dry Gym, and John Mark's an amazing trainer and stays on me, and just the way you eat, and your mentors, rules study, film study. After we work a game, we're graded, and so it's hashing out that and talking to your crewmates about it. It's just a constant. And I have also another job that I do. I am a marketing specialist for Mid-South Rehab here based here in Mississippi, and so it's never ending. And as long as I'm on the phone with an official, talking to them, doing Zooms, I'm affiliated with the Big Ten Conference and just their diversity, inclusion, and equality committee that they have, and it's just a mindset. It's a lot of hard work. We don't just show up on Sundays and run around for 4 quarters and then say we're done.
Right. There's a lot more sort of to it. And I think both of you, too, have your time sort of obviously in the headline. You, Holly, as the year that you're serving, and then going to Miss America to represent Mississippi on the stage. You know, you, Sarah, are probably going to be in the headlines as long as you're the only female, you know, sort of out there, which I think you'll open the floodgates for others to follow behind you. But there's always this word of like your legacy, right? I mean, every Miss Mississippi has a legacy for what she accomplished during her reigning year. You know, those that break barriers, which is what you have done, Sarah. You've at least shown other women that if they choose or want to this as a career path, it can be done. So, Holly, when you think of like legacy over the last year, what do you hope your legacy is as Miss Mississippi?
You know, I've worked a lot with my social impact initiative over the last year, and it was in the works even before I was crowned Miss Mississippi. Service has always been super important to me. I started my first major service project when I was 7. I collected and donated stuffed animals for highway patrol officers to give to children in car accidents, and I worked with that for so many years. And you know, I was thinking if I'm ever crowned Miss Mississippi, I want to expand on my work upon that project and also just volunteerism in general. So when I was preparing, I learned that about 23% of Mississippians volunteer annually, but we're the most generous state in the nation. And so I knew that we could do better. And so part of my goal was to form a partnership with the Mississippi Commission for Volunteer Service, which I'm so glad to say that was accomplished. I wanted to host a monthly service project every month of the year. I just wanted to increase Mississippi's volunteer percentage. I also wanted to work with Governor Reeves to implement a statewide day of service, and I've met with the First Lady. That's something that's in the works. It's coming up soon, and I'm really excited about that. But, you know, I really hope that when people look back on my year, they can see all of the work that I did with service, and I hope that I can be the Miss Mississippi that encouraged people to help others whenever they see a need to take the lead, and the Miss Mississippi that kept her word and did what she said she was going to do and increased that volunteer percentage. Just encouraged people to get outside of their comfort zones, go for it. You know, people who don't volunteer regularly might not be something that they know a lot about, but just to try new things, do hard things, and to just go for it.
Go for it. And that's exactly what you did, Sarah. As the doors just kept opening, you just went to that next level. I've read or watched several interviews where you said, look, this was never my intention, was to be this, you know, ceiling shattering, kind of woman in this profession. It just kind of happened through hard work and focus. But here we are. You did it. I mean, you did. You broke a barrier. You created or paved the path. So what do you hope in terms of with women coming into the NFL as professional referees or officiates? I'm not sure the right word for it.
Yeah.
What do you hope your legacy would be?
I'm going to just kind of piggyback off of what Holly was referencing, just the work and the passion that she has for her volunteerism, just, you know, the push behind that. It's the same with me. I'm not identified as this official. It's not what I just lean on, but my legacy is mainly for my 3 kids, that if you work hard, you have a passion for something, that you just go for it. Like she said, I mean, you just go for it. You don't let something hold you back when you know you have a passion for it. You've got to work to be successful. Success only comes before work in the dictionary, you know, and so you've got to be able to work hard at it. And also, when failure comes your way, use it as feedback and get up and keep pushing through. And I tell my kids too, I want you to fail at something, but I don't want you to like the taste of it. And so when you're passionate about something, I want people to know you've got to put the work in. Don't take a handout, and just keep striving for perfection.
Now, you don't always work, so what do you do for fun, Holly? Like, what's fun when you're not working towards all your accomplishments? What's the way you relax?
Well, when I'm not traveling, which I feel like I travel every day, but I love it, I co-own a boutique in Meridian. It's called Brand New You. It's a family affair, so I love spending my time there, getting to, you know, interact with my customer base and see my family when I'm not working. I'm a movie junkie. I love to just sit back, get some ice cream, and watch a movie, but I also love music. I've been singing, my mom says, since before I could talk, not actual words, of course, and I play 3 instruments. So my life goal is to pursue a career in music. So when I'm not traveling, it's really fun for me to just go sit at the piano, write a new song, sing, and just kind of decompress that way.
All right. How does Sarah Thomas decompress?
I'm telling you what, I don't know if that's decompressing. That's amazing. I don't know that I ever really do until I probably start staring at the back of my eyelids. Sleep, the little amount that I do. But I decompress at a baseball game. My son's playing at Meridian Community College. Ridley's over there, and then Brady's playing for Northwest Rankin, and it's just I'm able to be mom and just cut everything off when I'm there at those games. And then Bailey, my little girl's playing basketball, so I just, as you can imagine, I'm going to be around sports when I decompress. But also I love watching whatever sport is on television, and so that's how I decompress.
Well, we enjoy watching you on the field,
well,
at
thank
least
you.
during that time, and we enjoy watching you on the stage, which we'll get to do come up this June for Miss Mississippi. When's the exact date? Do we know that yet?
The finals are June 25th, so our new Miss Mississippi will be crowned in Vicksburg.
All righty. Well, we'll be looking forward to that. Sarah, you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
We'll have to see a photo when the 2 shoes are split.
Absolutely.
When they're forever homes, and y'all are forever welcome back to Good Things. So thank you for your time. You guys stick with us, though. We got Tasty Tuesday coming up next.